Hi everybody, Shadrach here, and it's been a while since I've done a public match of the day. I've been totally slacking on it. I apologize. I actually pulled this video. This video was filmed probably about a month ago, and I've been so busy doing these platinum solos, so busy trying to get these Splinter Cell Blacklist videos out that I've just been neglecting my duty to the public and these public matches of the day, so I apologize. So this is a special public match of the day that I have here. I have P-Rod Extreme, and he is running the Quarian Male, Make It Bleed running the Quarian Male Infiltrator, and I am running the Quarian Female Infiltrator, and SS Pikachu is running the Quarian Engineer. So if you haven't noticed, this is a theme game. It is a Quarian theme game, and we'll be playing on Unknown as usual, and I believe that we end up on Dagger. I can't remember the enemy, but we will find out shortly. So basically, we're going to be having lots of arc grenades. We have tac scan, which is great for debuffing and slowing the enemies, and like I said, lots of arc grenades. I'll be running sabotage, which is great for basically setting up the enemy for tech damage. So when I run sabotage on an enemy, anyone who hits the enemy with the arc grenade or any form of tech powers, it's going to be magnified by 50%. So it's a great thing. Let me quickly get my notifications off here, so that way we don't have things popping up throughout the game. I apologize for that, but looks like I got it right before the game starts. We got Geth on Fire-Based Dagger, and this should be good gameplay. So a big part of this map, I believe, for my success anyways in the past, has been holding down the donut. You have a long hallway which basically funnels them into a very narrow passage where you can just basically, they have very little cover, they're very exposed, and you can use the frame of the archway by the donut that separates the donut from the long hallway as cover. Very rarely do you have enemies going in the back door. And also we have this short hallway entrance, which basically gives us a beautiful line of sight over the lower flat here. I'm going to do something a little bit differently this game, though. What I want to do is I want to show that you don't have to stick with your team to be successful, but you do need to play off your team to some extent. So what I find really seems to work well, and it is a lot more fun too. I find that when your teammates are running around just doing whatever they want, let's say you got 2 or 3 teammates that are kind of working together in one spot, and you have one guy that's just running around all over the place, pushing spawns all over the place. He's not working for the team, he's not working against the team necessarily, but just kind of doing his own thing. It can cause a lot of problems. When he goes down, it leaves him vulnerable and difficult to get up. And so what I'm going to be doing here is I am going to be working the right flank of my team. I'm basically committed myself to moving up and down the right flank of my team. If they need to get me up and I'm down, then they have a direct line to where they can get to me, where there's no enemies separating the both of us. So I'm basically just going to be on the right side here, moving up and down the right flank, offering flanking support for my team. So let's say that my teammate gets a little overwhelmed head on while I'm on the right flank, and I can hit the enemies from the side, distracting them, pulling off some aggro from the team. And I've been able to do this many times with great success, and it makes for more interesting gameplay also. So basically, my team is up in the donut. They're popping their head out of the short hallway entrance here and there, and I'm just on the far right here, basically kind of on the lower flat. I'm blocking the right side spawn, so there shouldn't be any enemies spawning behind me. I would be very surprised if that happened. It does kind of appear that there is some distance between us, but in reality, there really isn't that much distance between the 3 of them and the 1 of me. So, like you can see here, I did spec it 3 points into my sticky grenades. I don't really particularly like them, but yeah, I did it anyways, just kind of trying something a little new. Sabotage against the Geth is very, very effective, and so is the Harrier. The Harrier is just effective against everyone, though, so we all know that. Like you can see, I have a beautiful head glitch here where I can just basically pop my head over the top. I can just pop shots at them without really exposing too much of myself. So I'm kind of moving up a little bit further than I should be here. I think I'm getting a little bit brave, but they really don't seem to be paying much mind to me at this point, and the pyros are pretty much I'm out of range of their flamer. As soon as I get a little bit of problems, I can just rotate back here a little bit and just get my shields back. I also have 2 ammo boxes all to myself on the right side of the map, which is really nice considering I'm using a Harrier, which is an ammo hog. So right there, I got my ammo box here, and I'm not getting a whole lot of opposition here. I really have to go out and find the opposition, honestly. Because of the distance between me and them and the distance between my team and them, my team pretty much is pulling all the aggro. And so, as you can see, the Prime doesn't even turn to notice me until I start popping headshots on them. It's a really good strategy to do this. I would recommend at least having 1 or 2 players on your team that is working one of the flanks. They just have to be really mindful of the spawns. They have to have a good understanding of the spawn. If you don't have a good understanding of the spawn, then you're going to push too far and you're going to end up getting pinched because they're going to spawn between your team and you, and then you're going to have them spawning on the other side of you too, so you're just going to get pinched and it's going to be big problems. So I wouldn't recommend working up and down left and right flanks unless you understand your team, how they're moving and how the enemies spawn. If you don't have a good understanding of spawn, just stick a little closer to your team. Don't push the flank too hard, and you should be just fine. Like I said, this is a lot more fun than just sitting there and camping one spot. I know a lot of people really frown on that. It looks like I just got myself in trouble. During objectives, spawns can be very sporadic, so that's the only reason that they spawn like that. Despite my presence there, they still spawn. But we all know when an objective comes up, the spawns are very sporadic. They're gonna basically, they have to take in consideration where the objectives are, where the majority of the team is, and where you are also, and then that's going to dictate where the enemies are going to spawn. So it is sporadic. Be very careful during objective waves where you are. You always got to watch out. It happens to me all the time when I do speed runs. We will all be in our position blocking our spawn, and all of a sudden an objective will come up like devices or a hack, and whoa, lo and behold, there is a Prime and an Atlas just staring you right between the eyes. So be very wary that during objective rounds the spawns are very sporadic. So it looks like we got 2 devices down. We got a little under 4 minutes left on the board. We're doing just great on this objective. The tac scan is beautiful for slowing enemies down, beautiful for the debuff. There's a headshot multiplier in tac scan if you want to spec into it also. Personally, when I use tac scan myself, I'll usually spec just 1, 2, and 3. I find that the benefits that you get out of tactical scan going all the way up to rank 6 just don't really seem worth it to me for the amount of points you have to spend. But we all have unique needs as gamers. We all have unique ideas of what's better and what's worse for us and for our team. And it all depends on our specific play style. And, you know, so I can only tell you guys what works better for me and my play style. Personally, like I said, I usually just go 1, 2, and 3 on tac scan. Actually, until I get to rank 20, I actually will only put 1 point in tac scan, and then right when I hit 20 and I have those extra points left, then I'll finish up 2 and 3. That's just the way the point count works. So right now at this point, we're just kind of running around. Looks like we got all the objectives done. We just got to clean up the wave. There's only 8 enemies on the board at any specific time. And as you notice, that sabotage working for me, I turned that pyro against his buddy there. So yeah, he wasn't too happy about that, I'm sure. And well, he's AI, so he probably wasn't happy or sad either way. But anyways, we'll just pretend he's not, and we'll just say that he wasn't very happy about that. So we're cleaning up the wave. Wave 4 has begun. We're making pretty decent time here. And because of my presence being far back at the hallway there, they spawned on the lower flat. So I'm going to move up the right flank here and try and push them out a little bit. If we can push them back and get them all spawning on that one far end of the map there, it's a lot easier to do more collateral damage. You know, stuff like arc grenades and stuff like that are going to go a lot further when there's more enemies close together, right? It just makes sense. So I'm down again for the second time. I am definitely not playing my best, but like I said, this is a theme game. This is public match of the day. There's no editing involved. There's no retakes. This is raw and uncut footage. So I'm showing it to you how it is. And So, you know, we can't play at the top of our ability all day, every day. You know, we all have our off days, we all have our on days. All we can do is try our best all the time and try and make our off days a little less off and try and make our on days a little more on. So, I'm not doing a very good job at pushing the enemy out here. It looks like we have a prime left, or it looks like the prime is down. And now I'm back on the flank where I want to be. So, we have 2 men down up in the donut. Looks like they're having a little bit of a hard time up there. Really what I should have done right now is rotated back and give them a bit of a hand, but I don't know. You don't always do what you should. That's the beauty of watching your gameplay over and over also, is you learn so much. Now this is a neat little head glitch here that I like to use once in a while. It doesn't always work for you, but later on in the game you'll see me using that a bit more when the enemies are a little thicker. You can hit atlases there, primes there, basically any enemy at the end of the long hallway you can hit through that little corner there, which is it's really handy because really the enemy can't hit you back. I really like this corner 2 here, to corner shoot on this right here. It's great. I use it in my solos whenever I do solo attempts on this map. This is pretty much a starting point actually for me when I do platinum solos on this map, is right here at this point. I like to start here, and then I like to rotate back up through the short hallway to the donut, through the long hallway. Then I hang a left and come underneath the long hallway and run straight across the field back to the starting point right here. So that's a basic rotation. So if you ever find yourself in a situation on this map where you are in a clutch situation and the rest of your teammates are down, that's pretty much the pattern I like to run. If they do spawn on the left here, you can go up here where this ammo box is and go straight there to the end of the long hallway, or you can take the little short stairs that are right across there in front of me. There's 2 paths to get to that donut there. Or you could even jump down the ladder if you had to and go underneath the donut. So there's a lot of alternate routes on this map. Being able to think on the fly and being able to react quickly will definitely contribute to the success of you having to clutch a wave when your teammates are down. So as you can see right here, I got a beautiful line of sight on this Atlas. I'm just going to chip away at him. He really has nothing he can do to me. I hit him with sabotage. I'm hitting him with some sticky grenades. And I'm just going to keep on loading him. He's also been debuffed with the tac scan, and he's down for the count. That was really quick. That Atlas was done and dealt with probably in about 4 or 5 seconds. So as you can see, using little areas on the map like that to your advantage can be quite beneficial. If you've noticed on maps like Reactor, for example, there are so many little line of sights all over the map. I'm sure you guys have been hit by primes and their little attacks through like little weird corners and cracks on the map. They're very good at exploiting that. So you know, you got to be crafty too. You know, if you want to beat the AI, you got to exploit stuff like that too. So always keep your eye out for little corners of the map that you can shoot through, little cover that you can use that will give you the upper hand in coming out on top in one of these gunfights against the enemy AI. Now, as you can see, I'm right back here again, chipping away at that Atlas, hitting him with sabotage. Like I said, I really like this corner of the map, and when you have a team that's on your left side, that's a solid team that you can trust, that you know, they're not going to let any enemies get by them. So I really don't have to worry about anything coming up behind me. It would be very rare that that would happen. Pretty much at this point, my only real concern is ammo, which isn't too much of a concern because I got those 2 ammo boxes there. So it's a great position for me to be on. Exploiting this flank like this is basically why I chose to show this video, really. Not to mention the theme, the Quarian theme. So also another thing I like to mention is, you know, when you're exploiting a flank like this, if there ever comes a time where your teammates are communicating to you and they're saying like it's getting too thick, then you should go back and help them. You know, you need to be where the thick of the fight is. Exploiting the flank like this worked out really well, definitely at the beginning rounds. And on the other side of the coin, if I start having problems, then maybe I'll ask one of my teammates to come over and help me. I can't stress enough how important it is to communicate with your team. Not having a mic, not communicating, it makes such a difference in gameplay. This is a cooperative game. This is a team game, and a lot of people lose sight of that. They get really fixated on points, which is just ridiculous. Points do not show who the better player is. not even remotely close to who the better player is. I honestly feel that if you are that fixated on points and you think that that dictates who the better player is, then that kind of shows weakness in my eyes. I think that if you're out there and you only use the flamer because you know the flamer will prime all the enemies and you know the flamer you'll get the majority of the kills, then that's just an example of selfish gameplay. Not saying that using the flamer is selfish gameplay, but if that is your motivation behind using him, then I think that is selfish gameplay and you're not contributing to the team how you should be. I know people that play the Volus. They rarely take first place on the scoreboard, but they're contributing to the team probably more so than anyone else on the team. And that to me is a sign of a good player. Someone who has good survivability, who can look at the team and say, what is my team missing? You know, if we have a bunch of people that have priming powers, and I choose to use the Geth Engineer because he has overload, and I detonate everyone's snap freeze, and I detonate everyone's flamer or everyone's incinerate, and all I do is detonate the whole game, and I get nothing but assists, but I'm detonating for 3 players, then how does that make me a worse or a better player than anyone else on my team? It's just absurd to think that because someone scores 20,000 more points than someone that makes them a better player. I think that there is definitely something to say for someone who scores, let's say, 20,000 points when the rest of the team scores 150,000 points or 100,000 points. Then that's kind of, you're not really pulling your weight at that point. So I mean, points do represent something to some extent to me, but honestly, I cannot say that outscoring someone makes anyone a better player, unless, like I said, there's a point spread difference that's just astronomical, like 100,000 point difference. Then obviously someone's not pulling their weight. At the same time, a little bit of friendly competition there's nothing wrong with. See who gets the first 20 headshot medal or something, right? If you want to be a little competitive, then I think that's something that would represent skill a lot more than, say, who has the most points. I can't tell you how many games that I play in public lobbies where I will be shooting at a prime and the guy next to me will just sit there and watch, and he's sitting there with 3 shots in his Black Widow, just waiting for there to be 2 bars left, and then there's 2 bars left, and I go to reload, and all of a sudden, bam, 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 and he gets the kill. I can't tell you how ridiculous that is. I've had public matches of the day that I filmed that were beautiful matches, and all of a sudden, on wave 11, we're on extraction, or we're on an objective wave on wave 10, and then some guy who has armor compartments run around and nukes all the spawns as fast as he can because he knows this video is going to be on YouTube and he doesn't want to be shown on YouTube scoring a little bit less than anybody else in the game or something like that. And that's really unfortunate because I really don't like to promote that kind of gameplay, and that's why I wouldn't use a video if something like that happened. I mean, if you're trying to get kill streaks for the team to help get some XP to help you level up or something like that, and that's your intention, then that's a little more understandable. But guys, it's not about points. It really isn't. And I really hope that you guys see this for how I'm presenting it, and just play the game to play with your friends and to enjoy it, because this is a co-op game. It's about camaraderie. It's about pooling our resources, putting our efforts together to defeat one common enemy, which is just AI. It's just a computer. We're not playing against other people. We're playing against AI. And there's a lot of factors involved. I've played on people's hosts that are from UK or that are from other parts of the world, and it will render powers and certain weapons like just unplayable, really. The Geth Plasma Shotgun does not play well under a really bad lag situations or lag circumstances, or however you want to phrase it. And for me to get upset with that and to be mad because I'm not getting as many kills as anyone else, and then all of a sudden everyone on the game is looking at me like, oh, who is this scrub, who's scoring so low? There's just so many situations, there's so many circumstances that are out of our power that really we just can't control. And that's a big part of why I'm not trying to sell you guys on the Xbox One, but this is a big part of why I am going to the Xbox One. They have a cloud, they have cloud servers. And a lot of people think that the cloud is just about online storage. No, it's not. The cloud is what they're going to have is these are dedicated servers there will be, for Microsoft, for all Xbox One games that are top titles, there will be no longer a host system. It will be hosted by Microsoft. They will have computers that are very strong computers. They won't put the load on one player, giving that one player a massive advantage over other players, especially in PvP games like Call of Duty. I know Battlefield has had dedicated servers hosted by DICE for quite some time now, and it's just so much more even, so much more fair. Not having a host advantage or having lag compensation or any of these other things that really play such a major role in who comes out on top in a gunfight. I'm sure you guys have all experienced it on this game, where you go to tac cloak and then you shoot your gun and your tac cloak doesn't break, or you throw a grenade and your grenade doesn't throw, and you throw another one and then you throw another one and only one of the three actually throws, or it goes on, or your stim pack doesn't work in time. I mean, how many people here can honestly say that their stim pack works off host all the time? It just doesn't. It rarely works when you need it to work. And having dedicated servers is the way of the future. It is. Having these cloud servers, it is the way of the future, and I'm sure that Sony down the road will pick up on that. A lot of the game companies, DICE for example, has always had their own dedicated servers. That's a big part of their standard, which is great, because having a host-based system is just unfair. It's just not fair. It's great for one or two people, and it's really bad for the rest. And then to have tournaments and to have professional players thinking that, you know, this is how it is, you know, that you know, this would be how the match would turn out, you know, if it was in a LAN party or something like that. It's so unreasonable that it's ridiculous. You know, it would be. I know a lot of players that I played COD with that are just amazing COD players, because the way the internet works out for them, the way the host works out for them, it works favorable for them. And then we would go and we play Battlefield 3 or Bad Company 2 back in the day, and they were just terrible. They were awful. And I've seen it work the other way also. I've seen players that were really bad at COD go and play Battlefield 3 and play Bad Company 2 and just rip it. Just amazing. It's like they're walking on water, because they're so used to having lag compensation, or they're so used to having a bad internet connection, that when they actually didn't have that problem, it was like a walk in the park for them. So I'm really excited with Xbox One having these dedicated servers. I can't wait to play on these non-hosted games any longer. Well, they are hosted, but they're hosted by the dedicated servers. So this is a really big step up for video gaming. I really hope that Sony jumps on this in the near future, because Sony is a great company. I have had my share of Sony PlayStations. Let me tell you, I've done thousands and thousands of hours of gaming with Sony. I really don't have a favorite. Right now I can just say, as far as my online co-op gaming and PvP gaming goes, Xbox is the way for me right now. I probably will pick up a Sony PlayStation 4 in the near future also, just because there's a lot of exclusive games on Sony that are really appealing to me. Just like Microsoft will have their exclusive games also. So we're getting pretty close to the game ending here. I think we're on round 7 if I remember correctly, maybe 8. I'm sorry, I just kind of got caught up in my rant there. So as you can see, I also have a beautiful line of sight on the hallway up top there. If you have a semi-decent shot, you can hit all the enemies running through the hallway up there. This is just a great position on Dagger. It's very it takes a lot of pressure off the team in the hallway up top and in the donut up top. As you can see, if I do have any problems, I can just basically leapfrog back all the way to the short hallway here, and I can keep going all the way into the donut where I can get help from my team. So there's a contingency plan. It's always nice to have a back door or some idea of where you're going to go if things get a little too thick for you, right? So in this situation, the Banshee pushed me back. I went all the way back to my teammates. They helped me finish it off, and now I'm going to push up again and get my ground back. So always have a contingency plan. Always have an idea of what you're going to do when you get overrun. It's going to greatly contribute to the success of your games. So I'm back over here on the right flank again. I'm just kind of taking a look. I'll push up here shortly when I realize that the coast is clear. But it looks like we have another Banshee making her way in. So I'm going to take my time, and oh, looks like I got a rocket trooper on the right also. And so I'll hit him with a quick sabotage and hopefully finish him off with my Scorpion. And there he goes. He's done and dealt with. And I should have been a little more aware. I knew that Banshee was coming. That was a very close call. Right now at this point in the game, I'm telling my teammates, short hallway, Banshee's coming, so they'll be responding. At least one of them will respond quickly to that. It looks like I got a tac scan on the Banshee. And so I'm going to rotate back around here with my team and continue working the Banshee down until she's done. So I'm back in the donut now. P-Rod's down, into the long hallway, and looks like the team is coming to his rescue. So I'm going to rotate over here too, because it looks like they might be having a little bit of a hard time getting him up. Oh, it's the end of the wave, so you know, that's another thing too. If you know it's the end of the wave and you have a teammate that's down, make sure you know, give him a heads up, because a lot of times, especially like if you're sniping, for example, a lot of times when I'm sniping, if I get down and I'm scoped in, I will have a perspective around me as if I'm scoped in with my sniper still. So it makes it very difficult to see how many enemies are left or what's going on around you. So it's really important to communicate things like that to your team. The last thing you want to do is waste a meta-gel when there's 2 or 3 enemies left on the board and you have 3 other teammates on the board that could easily deal with those last couple enemies. So like I said again, communication is just so important in this game. Not only that, you know, when you use a mic and you communicate, you meet people, the community grows, you can add people to your friends list because you're actually getting to know people. And you know, it's Xbox Live. You know, if you don't get along with a guy and you don't click, you know, big deal. The odds are you're never going to see him again or run into him again. So don't be shy, don't be nervous. There's so many great people out there on Xbox Live. I have met thousands and thousands of just really top-notch, good quality people. I've met more people on Xbox Live playing in a couple years than I have just on the streets and through school. In my whole life, pretty much, I could almost safely say that. So it's a great place to meet good people. I mean, yeah, you meet your bad too, but you know, it's really easy to deal with them. You just hit the block communication button or just delete them from your friends list. The beauty of Xbox Live, let me tell you. So don't be a stranger. Communicate. Use that headset. Let's help this community grow. There's lots of great games coming up here in the near future. We're going to have Mass Effect 4 here in 2015, not for a while, but it will be here. We have Destiny coming out. We have the new consoles coming out here in November. You know, there's just so much fun to be had, so many great people to meet. I'm really excited and stoked for the future of gaming, especially now that I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the co-op gaming scene has just grown so much. It is becoming so popular. I see it in even first-person shooting games. For example, Black Ops, Treyarch's game, they came out with Zombies, which started as a mini-game, a very small mini-game, and it's grown basically to the point where they're selling just as many copies for their first-person shooter version of the game as they are for the Zombies version. Even in the new Call of Duty Ghost, Infinity Ward's Call of Duty, they have a game type called Squads. There was all kinds of missions that you could do on Modern Warfare 3 that you could do. There were co-op missions, and they're expanding that greatly on the new Call of Duty Ghost. If you guys haven't seen it already, there's a trailer, and they really talk. It's, I think, the most recent trailer on the dashboard, and they're talking about all the squads section of the game, which is a huge co-op section. And I think that they've noticed the success that Treyarch has had with Nazi Zombies. And I think that's why they're really focusing on expanding the squad section. It's also using the power of the cloud, which is great. For the new Forza will be doing this also. What they're doing is basically the cloud will be recording the way that you play. Whether it's the racing game and the way that you play and race, and the way you take turns, the way you handle passing players, etc. Or if it's with Call of Duty Ghost and you're playing squads and it's the way you set up your squad, the way your team moves together, etc. And so what's going to happen with these two games, and I'm sure they'll implement this with other games, is while you're not playing, other players from around the world are going to be playing this game, and they're going to put you up against your AI version of you and your team, or you and your driver, for example, in Forza. And so your team or your driver will be able to actually collect and earn and win credits and advance in rank, etc. And then when you get back on after not playing all night, then all of a sudden you have X amount of credits extra and you haven't even played the game because the AI is basically using the computerized AI version of you and your squad to compete against other squads. So I think it's very, very cool. The power of the cloud is just amazing. Like I said, I'm really, really excited for this. I can't wait to see Sony jump on this cloud bandwagon also, because it is the way of the future. It really is. So anyways, that is my rant about the cloud. Looks like we have about 18 seconds left on extraction here, and 15:14 is counting down. We're doing really well. Looks like the coast is completely clear. Hopefully we have all of us in the LZ. We have a little phantom down there, not a big deal. Banshee's coming up, but they don't stand a chance considering that the timer is up, and that is full extraction. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your subscriptions and your support. I really appreciate it. You guys have no idea. You guys have all been great. All the views that you guys are giving me, I greatly appreciate it. I hope I can keep making videos for a long, long time for you guys. I hope I can keep on improving. And once again, thank you guys. And until next time, take care.